Well, hello and welcome. My name is Velma. You can connect with me at velmanolds.com. This is all about your leadership chat. What does that mean? You get to listen in on valuable insights from valuable leaders just like you. I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. And if this is of value to you, please share the nuggets that you're going to take away from all these great leaders. Hey there, give a big welcome to my special guest and your valuable leader, Dr. Kelvin McCree. Dr. Kelvin, welcome to your leadership chat.
Hey, great morning, Velma. It is so great to be with you. Thank you for giving me the honor of being with you and hanging out with you for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I love to have this chat, and I always like to say, bring some coffee, tea, water, anything safe to drink on social media because it's just a leadership chat, and I can't wait for you to share some of your wisdom with all those that are listening in.
Yeah.
Let's kick this off. I know a little bit about you and have had time to share moments with you and those in your family. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about who you are and what you do with those listening in.
Yeah. So, above all, before accolades or titles or
Mhm.
education, I'm a dad of two children. I have a 19-year-old that's home.
Wow.
Call him the golden child. And then I have a daughter that lives in Haines City and a husband. Just so I'm a family guy before anything else. That really is big for me. Another thing that people may not know about me is that I'm a former tailor. I used to be a tailor back then in the 90s. And so I dress really high end professionals, executives from television stations, newspapers, home shopping network. I'm going to share that with you a little bit later. Turner Broadcasting, and so I lawyers and doctors, and so that was actually my first business
Wow.
before I sold it. And so that's a little bit about me. And then I'm a budding chef, so kind of my downtime. I love to cook. That's kind of my recreate activity, kind of my
Hmm.
place that I can go back and just kind of get centered, and it's not work, and it's not having to deal with people. I'm not coaching, I'm not speaking, and so I'm just in the kitchen creating. And so a little
Hmm.
bit about me.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of that foodie videos that you put
Yeah.
out on social media, and I'm like, wait a minute, Calvin's holding out on me. So that is too cool. Oh, I can't wait. And I did not know that you originally was all about how to suit up, man. You were all about how to dress for success way back then, and you didn't know that. So,
Yeah. I always
oh,
loved clothes and got laid off from my job. I was always loving clothes and image consulting. And so I just like, you know what, this is a great time for me to dive into this. So listen, I literally took my last paycheck, got on
yeah.
Value Jet. I don't remember Value Jet back then.
Mm-hmm.
Got on Value Jet, drew to South Florida. Fraternity brother of mine from college connected me with the guy, and that kind of started. I started out with a box of neckties and just kind of grew the
Wow.
business, hired sales reps over the last of the first couple of years because I kind of realized
Yeah.
even before we knew what scaling was,
Mm-hmm.
that you can sell more than you can make.
Mm.
And so that's what I hired sales reps. I started farming everything out and literally just built it to the point where a guy came in off the street and say, listen, man, if you're willing to sell it, I'll buy it. And that was it.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, the rest is history. And I've seen you in them suits, so I know
Yeah, I still
you
love
not only know how to make it, you know how to wear it well. So
how to put it together. Yeah, you got to be your own walking billboard.
that's right. Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, you kind of know how this chat goes. I have several questions, love for you to share. My first question is about valuable leaders. And I always tell people I'm shamefully promoting the book, The Valuable Leader, which is full of stories of other valuable leaders and how they've made an impact in people's lives. And so I would love for you to share who in your life is a valuable leader and why would you say that? Tell us their story.
So I'll give you three as I reflected upon this. So it's like,
Yeah,
I don't think it's just one,
I
but
know.
I'll give you three but in really short stories. So the first one, he's deceased now. I believe he passed away in 2015. His name was Bud Paxson. And Bud Paxson started Home Shopping Network. That's who that was.
Okay.
became my mentor after he became my customer. And he told me this story. Well, he didn't tell me the story. I actually have this story to tell about.
Yeah.
I had done some trade and bartering with Bud Paxton, so I gave him some suits. And at that time, he had already sold Home Shopping Network, and he owned the Smooth Jazz radio stations, 94.1, which was the
Hmm.
jazz all around the country. They had these stations called Smooth Jazz.
Right.
Bud Paxton owned those stations, so we had done some bartering. And we did the deal. The account executive comes to my office, my showroom that I had. We get all of the radio spots. He takes it back to the station and he says, this guy has these radio spots if he didn't pay for them. So the president, he says he's done trade with Bud Paxton. So the president calls me at my office and he goes, Mr. Paxton does not do bartering. You need to pay for these radio spots. And I was like, I beg to differ. He does. He's do bartering. He did it with me. He said, well, we're not going to run your spots on the station until you pay for them. And I said, fine. So I get on the phone and I call Melanie, who ran his house. So she had all the butlers, the maids, the groundskeeper, Jock, who was his chef. So she ran everything. She said, and so I called Melanie. I said, Melanie, here's the situation with Drew Rasbaum. So she says, Kelvin, give me an hour. She calls Bud Paxton, who happened to be in Japan.
Wow.
Within that hour, Bud Paxton had called Drew Rasbaum, reamed him out, called me and said, Kelvin, everything's ready to go. So why am I telling that story? If a guy can be, at that time, worth almost $500 million, he can be in Japan. He honors a verbal deal that we make. And then he goes out of his way to call me. Yeah. The lesson that it taught me was nobody is so busy or too important that they can't call someone. They can't return a text. They can't respond to someone. And that literally shaped how I engage people. So if someone texts me or calls me or emails me almost within an hour, unless I'm in, Tahiti or somewhere, but almost within an hour, I'm going to call you, text you, or email you back. And that value for engaging people and honoring people in their time, that came from that experience with Bud Paxton.
Yeah.
So he's
love that story.
My one guy. Another one is Simon T. Bailey. You probably know
I know
Simon. One of the creme de la creme speakers in our industry. And Simon has been my mentor since I got into this business. And he has really demonstrated and modeled for me what does a family man look like who is in this business, but also his excellence in speaking. And so he has really made an imprint upon me because of having that kind of balance and then being so great at what he does. And so I learned a lot from him. He's always a text away, a phone call away. And so he is really big. He's my personal mentor. Then the final one is our mayor here in our city. He's a friend of mine, Bill Mutz. He's a businessman. He owned several car dealerships before he became our mayor. And the two things that I like about him is his business acumen. He is an astute business person, just a ferocious note taker, really attentive, present when he's talking to people, but also his altruism. He is just a guy, 12 kids, grown kids now that he has, and he's still bringing children from Africa and Colombia to stay in his house and help them in their education here at our university, at Southeastern University. So those are the three people that really have really shaped kind of my value system and kind of how I do business and why I want to be excellent, but also why I still have this kind of altruistic heart of caring for people and doing for people. I still do mission work. So those are the three people that really have shaped me.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Bud, Simon, and Bill. Wow. That I was writing down a few things there that you were talking about, and that Bud was all about never being too busy, to just for people, because that shows that you value them and when they need you, and it might not be that immediate second, but you don't take it for granted. You follow through. And then Simon, of course, being one that what that helps you to understand that foundationally, first and foremost, you're the family man, right? You know, where do your values come from? And your family has a big part of that. And I love Bill talking about the business side of, you know, doing business with a value-based system is what I wrote, but standing firm on that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are really three. We got a trifecta going on here. I love it when I ask for one and I get more. You know, I love people that over deliver. So thank you. That's beautiful. Well, so, you know, when we talk about it, Calvin, we know what it means to have people that make such a tremendous impact. And the word you used, imprint, I love that word, imprint. I mean, that's like, you know, it's like sealed on you. I love that word you used when you referred to Simon and the imprint that he's made on your life. And so when we talk about how you could pay it forward, you know, when you learn a lesson, and we see what someone has done for us, we have a responsibility, I think, to you know, pay that forward, to help others benefit like people have helped us. And so how would you say that you pay it forward? How do you impact the lives of others so they could be valuable leaders in themselves?
Sure. So there are a couple of things that I do. Um, I offer masterminds a couple of times a year, and for me, masterminds is kind of a bridge for knowledge. My
Hmm.
goal for people, and many of the masterminds are either leaders or organizations. Two of them are, and then I have another mastermind that actually teaches the business of speaking.
Right.
And my goal is to bridge the knowledge gap and to shorten their learning curve.
Right.
So that's and so my masterminds are not talking heads. They are literally giving them the steps, the process, the systems, and the strategies to get to where I got to
Mm.
faster.
Yeah.
And so that's why I offer those. And then aside from the masterminds, I have something called Beyond the Stage monthly support group. And that is where we can all come together, what I call our laser focused leadership solutions family. That anyone has ever taken any one of my masterminds can come back the first Monday of every month
Yeah.
and get into this group and ask questions. We cross pollinate, we uplift one another, we pray for one another. And so that's me continuing to ensure that I'm paying it forward, continuing
Hmm.
to ensure that I'm pouring into people. And
Right.
many of the people that have gone through our masterminds, and I'll use it as an example, some of the speakers, what it took me 5 to 7 years to get to speaking fee, they're doing it now. And that's
Hmm.
because they're getting everything that I had to learn and develop and pay attorneys for in our masterminds and in our monthly sessions. They're getting these things now,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they're succeeding way faster.
Yeah, yeah, what a great value to give others to help pay things forward by, you know, letting, you know, those that are following you actually catch up faster. I love that.
Yes,
That's
yes,
beautiful. You know what they say about leaders? Leaders don't make followers, they make leaders.
take more
And
leads.
yes, and I love that you're doing that through the resources and the, you know, the packages that you have available there.
I,
Um,
I think the way that I say it
mhm.
often is leaders, real leaders are lifters.
Not
Real
that.
leaders are lifters. And if you're not lifting, then you're really not leading, because we
Right.
should be lifting others,
Right.
lifting talents, lifting mindsets,
Yeah.
right? Lifting hope. And so
Hmm.
real leaders, and from the gospel according to Kelvin,
Yeah.
leaders are lifters. And
I
that is
love that.
the easiest way to determine whether or not you're walking out the definition of what leadership is. Are
Hmm.
you lifting the others and those around you?
Yeah, that's so beautifully said. I love that. Leaders, real leaders are lifters. Yeah, that is beautiful. Well said there. Yeah, I love that. That's a quote. You know, use that somewhere. Sounds like a keynote to me. Um, well, okay, so folks are listening in and they love this question because they're always anxious to hear some new insights. And it's kind of what you're doing in these masterminds, but for here. So for those listening in, what would be one big takeaway that you would want to share with them? Something, Calvin, that you would say, man, I wish someone would have told me this years ago that could help them step into the value that they have and to believe in themselves to be valuable leaders. What would that big takeaway be?
I have a really passion when I'm talking about, and of course, a lot of our work is around change leadership and change management.
Sure.
But I also hear just a shameless plug in my latest
Yeah.
book called Drop the Cape. And
Drop the cape.
essentially, the book deals with being able to find value in what you do
Hmm.
and then branding your excellence.
Yeah.
And often, what I found that both in my research and as I'm writing the book, and as we're doing this presentation, which is one of our most sought after ones, is often leaders or staff members, team members, they're trying to be perfect
Mm-hmm.
at what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what my admonition to them and what I talk about ad nauseum in the book is stop trying to be perfect and instead focus on being excellent.
Okay.
Um, and so, and I'll say it this way: the front of the book, you'll see that there's an actual cape there, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's dropped the cape for a reason. When my son was coming up, my son is 19, and we watched The Incredibles ad nauseum, the animated superhero
Mm-hmm.
movie. And Mr. Incredible is already a superhero, but the program has been banished. And so now he's working at InsureCare, working for an unscrupulous boss, and he's filing insurance claims. But he really wants to get back in the game. And so he gets this Mission Impossible type notification
Mm-hmm.
at his home. And he goes out on these exploits, and he accomplishes both of them successfully. And then all of a sudden, he's starting to reflect on other superheroes. He's comparing himself to
Mm-hmm.
other people. If I can just have what they have, I can be excellent. And so he goes to Edna Mode, who's this little short lady, and Edna Mode makes superhero costumes. And he tells Edna Mode, I want a cape.
Mm-hmm.
And Edna Mode emphatically says, no capes, no capes. And she explains why. So she's talking about one superhero got his cape caught in a wind turbine. Another one got caught in a rocket ship. Another got it caught in a windmill and a speeding train. And so she says, no capes. And so the question that I pose is, after carrying out these exploits, why does he feel like he's not enough?
Mm-hmm.
Why does he feel like he needs something extra? And the proverbial cape for our day is a corner office,
Mm-hmm.
job title, is more money. And if
Mm-hmm.
I only can get those things, wow, I'll be excellent.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're holding back our excellence and we're seeking perfection. And so on the leadership side, excellence by perfection, rather, by definition, really suppresses innovation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It says that anything short of perfection, by definition, anything short of perfection is not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
That is often what we're doing. We're sacrificing everything. We're sacrificing progressive growth.
Yeah.
We're sacrificing getting progressively better because we're seeking perfection.
Mm-hmm.
When the more noble thing would be is to focus on excellence.
Mm. That's beautiful.
And so
Oh, what?
how do we
Yeah.
how do we get people to drop the cape? How do we get them to not try to be perfect?
Yeah.
How do we get them to show up and be excellent every day? I don't need a title. I don't need a cape. I don't need to compare myself to anyone else. That's what perfection does.
Right.
But excellence says I can become progressively better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well said. I love that. So big takeaway, you don't need anything else. Stop focusing on being perfect and this perfection and focus on being excellent. Oh, and yeah, have excellence in everything you do. You don't need anything to do that. You've got it inside of you. Yeah, progressively better. Oh,
Absolutely.
oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, I love that. Very good takeaway. Thank you. Um, so So love that. Excellent. Well, listen, yeah, drop the mic on that one, we will say. So my last question, this is your opportunity. I'd love for anyone listening in, some folks meeting you for the first time and some know you well, but I'd love for them to be able to learn more about you, how to connect with you, and how to follow you and find about your resources. Could you share a little bit about that with us, please?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
The easiest way would be to go to our website,
Okay.
mylaserfocus.com, mylaserfocus.com. The other is on LinkedIn. You can either go to My Laser Focus or my name, Kelvin McCree, and connect with us on LinkedIn. And then the final one is Instagram, is Laser Focus Leadership. So we're on website, mylaserfocus.com, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And we put out a lot of content throughout the week. We do a monthly newsletter that they can sign up for. And it's called Necessary Pivots with Dr. Kelvin McCree. And so those are the ways. And we're always believing being, a leader by definition is lifting. And so we're always putting out content to help lift leaders and the people that they lead.
Oh, beautifully said. So yes, mylaserfocus.com. Woof, right into it. I love that. I know there you could connect with him, but of course, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then of course, Dr. Calvin himself, you can find him on LinkedIn as well as the company. So I am so thrilled to have the opportunity to chat with you today, to bring you to all the listeners and for you to share your insights and wisdom. Thank you so much from my heart to yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This has been fun. I value and appreciate you. Thank you for all the phenomenal work you're doing and continue to be amazing. We are all watching and taking notes and trying to model some of the things that you're doing. So thank you for what you're doing too.
Yeah. Well, we're just lifting each other's up together, right?
It.
That's what we're doing. So thank you. And that's it for today.
All right. Thank you so much. God bless. Have a great week.
Hey, thanks so much for watching another episode of Your Leadership Chat. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here and tap that bell icon so that you never miss another episode. I hope too that you'll give us a thumbs up on the video for a like. And then if you feel led, please share the video with those who need to see it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Your Leadership Chat. Bye for now.